Okay, we're on our third Veteran Spotlight of the week, and I am so excited to bring to our audience former Staff Sergeant Jeff Houston, good friend of mine, uh, Army Green Beret, as well as now a pistol and training instructor. So, Jeff, thank you for being here, and thank you for taking the time to share your experiences with our community.
Thanks for having me, Genevieve. Happy to be here.
So it's Veterans Week since we're leading up to July 4th and really talking about what does it mean to be an American. And you chose the Army. So tell us about your journey and what made you choose the Army and joining from 2004 to 2009.
Sure. I mean, anyone that's been in knows the Army is the best, so that's why I chose the Army. I'm just kidding. I did a lot of research, actually. So I was in college during 9/11, and that has a lot to do with why I ended up joining was because of the events of 9/11. Our country soon after, went to war, and I decided that I wanted to, serve my country, and took my time with it and did a lot of research. Really, I read books, I talked to people, talked to recruiters, and decided that the best fit for me was to try to become a Green Beret. And so then I figured out how I was going to become a Green Beret, and I went and I did it. And I didn't quit, didn't get hurt, made it. And so after a couple of years of training, I made it onto a Special Forces team as Green Beret.
So what was that experience like? You were in the early fleet of warfare in Iraq as special forces. I mean, you guys got used a lot in very tactical and surgical ways, early part of the Operation Iraqi Freedom. Share with us a little bit about your experiences.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it was truly the best years of my life. I was on a fantastic team. Your team becomes your family, and you're operating together as a 12-man team with some support people in hostile environments, and doing really good things. I mean, we were doing things where we felt like we made a difference. A special forces team is doing everything from training a local force and how to fight, and then going into fights with them, to conducting raids. Special forces can conduct direct action raids, all sorts of missions, that's surveillance, reconnaissance, all sorts of things. And we were able to do all those and more, and work with some really good local national forces. And I just had an amazing experience. It was great. Obviously, there's varying levels of pain and heartache that go along with serving in a time of war. But overall, it was a very positive experience that I would not change.
How many missions I mean, you were in the service for 5 years, whereas you were a staff sergeant. How many missions did you go on during
I don't know, but I know that there's people who have done a lot more than me. So I don't pretend to have been there and done that as much as some of my fellow warriors who served 20 years and have done 9 deployments. So I got to give a shout out to all my brothers who are on their 11th, 12th, 13th deployment, and still kicking butt, because there's still guys over there that are 40, 50 years old doing good things, and I got to shout out to those guys. But I did a lot, and I'm proud of it. And I came back with all my limbs, and I'm just happy to have had the opportunity.
Well, it sounds like when you were, over in Iraq, you did have the chance to do a lot of training. I mean, I know you trained their Iraqi military, and did that kind of seep over into your new, like your post-military life and your civilian life? You are an NRA trained pistol instructor. You do training consulting. I mean, you've trained like police academies and civilians and special forces. Talk to us a little bit about the training curriculum that you learned there, what you do now, and how that is continuing to evolve.
Yeah, sure. What I did in the military definitely helped pave the road for what I do now. I got out of the Army and went back to school, finished my degree, and was doing consulting and training on the side while I was finishing up my college. And then I turned it into a business. I worked with some really, really awesome guys in Colorado when I first got out of the military. Some of my Navy friends did some really good work with them for a while, and then branched off and came to the great state of Texas and started my company here about 6 years ago. And we do firearms training, firearms instruction. But really, our business is mostly about security and safety, keeping people safer. We work with a lot of families on keeping them safe. Part of that, of course, is firearms training and exercising our Second Amendment right in a responsible way. But yeah, I've trained law enforcement. I've trained literally, thousands of people overall. Most of which are civilians now, and we continue to do so today. We have an outdoor range just 45 minutes from Dallas that we utilize. But what I've learned over the years is there's so many other areas that people should be trained on that go alongside with firearms, or even they should do before firearms, like basic training in situational awareness, and obviously safety and decision-making processes and performing under stress. There's a lot that goes along with it, because if you're actually using your gun to defend yourself, it's a pretty bad day. And so we like to keep people safe before that happens, and ideally avoid that at all costs. But if that time comes, then hopefully you have the responsible training to the background to perform in a responsible and safe manner.
Yeah, typically firearm use should be last and worst case scenario. There's a lot of de-escalate that can happen before you get to this point, right?
That's right. Yeah, we like to say avoid, de-escalate, retreat, engage. So engagement is something that is not preferred. But obviously, if you have to use a firearm to save your life or someone else's life, then that's our right to do so. And we want to do it responsibly, to where we're not endangering other people. But there's a lot of unknowns in a civilian environment, especially, which is very different from the military environment. And most of my experience in training now is over the last 6 to 8 years of doing civilian related training and training with law enforcement and how to respond to active shooters. And we've definitely learned and know that unpredictable things happen, and we do not know or can predict everything that's going to happen when shots start getting fired. So we absolutely stress how can we avoid a fight and not go get in one.
That's great. Jeff, how would people find your business if they wanted to go through some of your training?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Our website's tac7usa.com. The business is Tac7 Security Solutions. Our outdoor range is called the Mile Range, and it's in Ennis. But we're based in Dallas. We do work all over the country. We do consulting work, and we have training teams that we send out. We do active shooter response training, workplace violence training. But our website's the best way to reach us, or you can find us on Instagram or Facebook, Tac7, TAC7 USA.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure many people watching this will hopefully reach out to you. We have multiple mutual friends who have gone through your course and have said that it's phenomenal. So I highly encourage anyone to look up Tac7. They do a great job. Last question. We are on the week leading up to July 4th. It's July 1st right now. And it's important that we think about what it means to celebrate America, what it means to be an American, because we are unique and compared to the rest of the world. And we need some good reminding of what it means to be an American during these very tumultuous times. So question for you, what does it mean to you to be an American?
It's a very important question that I think everyone should think about and not forget. What does it mean to be an American? To me, first of all, I'm very proud to be an American, and I'm very unapologetically American. So I think that's important. I've served our country, and just because you're not in the military doesn't mean you can't serve in one way, shape, or forms. And I think that being an American, serving, giving back is part of being an American. There's always people out there that, can't do something or need help with something, and there's plenty of ways to serve and give back to the community. But, being an American to me is, the most important thing in my life. And I'm proud to be so. I think that we are in a time right now where people are divisive. People are looking to divide the country and not unite the country. So, I think just don't forget our roots. Don't forget where we come from. We are one nation under God, and I always think about that, and I strive to push that, or remind people. I shouldn't say push it. Remind people that we are one nation under God, and we come from a diverse background. Regardless of where you came from, where your ancestors come from, America is a place where you can come and have more opportunity than anywhere else on the planet. And people prove that every day. People are coming to this country legally and changing their life for the better, and changing generations to come from them for the better. And America is a country that allows you to do that. There's a proper way and a process for it, but it's doable, and people do it every day. And I'm happy to see that. It's a land of opportunity. And I want people to remember that it is it's a free market environment that we're in. We are in a republic that allows people to go out and pursue their dreams. And I've done that as an entrepreneur, and I love seeing the people do it. So that's it. I could go on, but I think that's enough. I'm just proud and happy to be American.
Republic that allows people the freedom to go be the architects of their lives, So thank you for everything that you've done for our country. Thank you for what you're still doing, making sure people are prepared to rightfully de-escalate and hopefully avoid engaging people or engaging in a very difficult situation. And just thank you for being my friend. I appreciate you so much. And
thanks, Genevieve. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.